Hey guys, welcome back to Through the Screen. I'm Charlotte.
I'm Emily.
I'm Brittany.
We hope you've been enjoying our episode so far and liking, commenting, and sharing with your friends. If you missed any, head on over to our channel and watch. And if you're not already, subscribe to it. This week we're back with all new topics, including something that has been a big issue in the past few decades. So we hope you'll follow us once again as we join via Skype to bring you conversations through the screen.
Even the best they can't say they've never lost. Hey, it isn't even a question. You can't change what's dead and gone. So grab the lighter, spark the flame, start the fire, watch it blaze. It isn't even a question when I say you're better off. Believe me that you're better off. You're better.
This episode, we will be discussing a very important topic, bullying, and a recent story relevant to the issue. We will also, as usual, bring you Taiji updates, as well as a heartwarming story about a dog that made a pet store change its ways to benefit other abused animals, a super simple nail brightener that uses only 2 basic ingredients, and another recap of this week's episode of Dancing with the Stars. First up, bullying.
This week's big topic is something every single person can relate to, bullying. All of us have experienced bullying in one form or another in our lifetime. Whether you were bullied or the bully, it shaped the very person you became. Since most bullying starts when you're a kid. Over the course of the past 20 years, the facts and faces of bullying have changed drastically. When I was younger, bullies were typecasted as the big kid in school, powerful enough to squash the younger, smarter kids like a bug, or the popular girl who seemed to have it all, but was the rudest person in the world. They typically tormented you from between the hours of 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Sure, their torments carried over to the dances and the limited amount of people you trusted in your world, but it stopped there. You knew it didn't continue on into your household. It didn't carry you home. It didn't follow you everywhere, and it didn't define who you were. Nowadays, bullying is so much more complex. With the invention of technology, someone can literally bully you 24/7 in the palm of your hand. They have the power to make you believe that you are not good enough, that you simply do not matter, and that every single person in your world would be better off without you. With one click, they can instantly destroy your world. If you believe in them and trust them wholeheartedly, they now hold a strong power over you. They dictate your emotions. You live your life for their approval, their love, when really you're desperately trying to solve how to love yourself. Which is where this week's tragic story comes in. Michelle Carter, a 17-year-old girl from Plainville, Massachusetts, and Conrad Roy III, an 18-year-old boy from Fairhaven, Massachusetts, began an online relationship in 2012. Michelle was quoted as calling him the love of her life. But in 2014, that relationship became more of a codependent nightmare. Conrad had severe doubts about actually going through with the suicide, but Carter didn't seem to care. She continued to encourage him that his whole world would be better off if he just did it, like he had tried to 2 years prior with prescription medication. Rather than help him or seek additional information such as contacting his loved ones, she continued to play a loving girlfriend role while convincing him that this was the only way out. The day of his death, July 12, 2014, Carter states, "You can't think about it, you just have to do it." She couldn't fathom his hesitation. "I'm gonna eventually," he replied back. "I really don't know what I'm waiting for. I have everything lined up." She then encourages him to look into different ways of making himself fall asleep so he wouldn't be aware of what was happening. She even suggested he park in a parking lot and let the fumes take hold. Conrad was found dead in his truck with a gas-powered water pump, filling the inside with carbon monoxide. The entire time Conrad was in the car dying, he was texting Carter. At one point, she claims to her friend Samantha, "Like, honestly, I could have stopped it. I was on the phone with him, and he got out of the car because the carbon monoxide was working, and I told him to get back in." Since it happened overnight, Conrad's body was found on July 13th in a local Kmart parking lot. Since it had, not surprisingly, once it was revealed that Conrad was gone, Carter became the grieving girlfriend, boasting about how she was a self-proclaimed advocate for mental health. She began organization fundraising in Conrad's memory and posted on social media pages on the depths of trying to save him. all the while, deep down, she knew that if her text messages got out, she would become the instigator, the mentor, the trusted confidant that encouraged her depressed boyfriend to commit suicide. She would become the crier. Today, being October 2nd, she will hear the verdict set forth by the jury of her peers, and honestly, I hope she is found guilty, sent to jail, and uses this disgusting show of manipulation in so-called love as a way to truly help others. By saving another life, she may earn redemption and peace.
Yeah, I just think that it's so disgusting. I don't know how she could have done that. I don't know how she could have done that and then pretended like, she was so upset about it. I mean, she literally has mental health issues herself.
Yeah, I saw a quote afterwards. She was saying, even though I couldn't save my boyfriend's life, I want to do this to be able to save the lives of others. And I'm like, how can you even say that?
Like, you totally are the reason why he's not here. Like, I don't care what anyone says. She may not have, set it up physically, but she is the reason. And it's really disgusting.
She definitely could have gotten him help. She could have found help. She could have helped him.
She knew he was dying. She knew he was dying. Like, she could have called 911. She could have, there's so many things she could have done.
Yeah, I mean, let's not even go to the actual day. I mean, this was a 2-year span of talking to him through text and whatever else, internet, telling him pretty much that every time he felt depressed that he should just go and kill himself.
Right, and this whole conversation is actually online. If you guys didn't know about the story, if you wanted to read it, it's horrifying. But their whole texting is online. But I mean, he would ask her how her day was, and she said, "When are you going to do it?" She would always changing the subject back to that. It's disgusting.
It's like she wanted him to do it so she could get attention for him doing it. Like, right. What is wrong with you? Like, I don't know. It's pretty unbelievable to me. I cannot believe people like that exist. I can't believe that, I don't know. I just really hope she gets what she deserves. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, and at this point we don't have updates, but when we do have updates, we will probably post them on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
To let you guys know. But, as Charlotte said, cyberbullying, which is bullying via technology, text message, email, social media, etc., it's basically changed everything about bullying. Whereas it used to be visible physical harm, bullies can now hide behind screens and bully people in horrifying ways. And it's estimated that in 2011, it was estimated that about 2.2 million high school students have been cyberbullied, with over 3% reported being bullied almost every day. And suicide is the second ranking cause of death for individuals 15 to 24, and homicide is third. So suicide is actually ranked higher than homicide for the death of adolescents and young adults, which is just horrifying. And something that I find particularly shocking is that, there's no limits to who bullies. It's not just adolescents. Adults are just as capable as adolescents to bully people. And one case of that is Meier. She was a 13-year-old girl from Missouri that had self-image issues almost her entire life. She was overweight, and she contemplated suicide as early as the 3rd grade. So she was put into therapy and was diagnosed with ADD and depression. But one day she was on MySpace. Obviously, this is a little bit of an old story. But she was on MySpace, and she got a message from a 16-year-old boy named Josh Evans. And Megan's mom was reluctant to let her add him because she had social media issues in the past, but eventually agreed. And then the two formed a really close connection, and he was a big reason for her mood being lifted. Her mom and everybody around her saw a difference in her mood since she started talking to him, because she was excited to go home every day and get on MySpace. But there were things about him that were strange, like he said that he didn't have a phone number, not even a landline. So that was his excuse when she would ask him. And one day she received a really strange message from him where he said that he didn't know if he wanted to be friends with her anymore because he heard that she wasn't very nice to her friends. and she was immediately confused, and suddenly he started sharing her message with other people who started calling her fat and a slut, and people that she didn't even know. And the last message that he sent her on October 16th, 2006 said, "Everybody in O'Fallon knows how you are. You're a bad person and everybody hates you. Have a shitty rest of your life. The world would be a better place without you." And that message affected her so much that she went upstairs and hung herself in her bedroom closet. She was rushed to the hospital but died the next day on October 17th, a few weeks before her 14th birthday. And the most disturbing thing about this case is that Megan's parents, after her death, found out that Josh Evans never existed. The real person behind the account was the Meier's neighbor a few doors down, the mother of one of her friends that she recently had a falling out with. So mother and daughter both used the account along with another woman who was the main person using the account. And they knew full well that Megan was suffering from depression. And they did this as a prank to see if she would be gossiping about the girl.
It almost reminds me of like catfish.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Right.
It's just so disgusting.
I'm sure it happens all the time. It's disgusting. But the 18-year-old woman that was mainly in charge of the Josh Evans account basically said that she was the one who sent that last message, and the reason she did it was to make Megan angry enough to stop talking to him so that she could delete the account. But obviously that's not what happened. And there were no initial criminal charges because the FBI were unable to retrieve those last messages. Only her dad saw them. But in 2008, the mother was indicted and convicted of violations of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, which was supposed to be the country's first cyberbullying verdict, but she was actually acquitted in 2009. But if you guys have ever seen the Lifetime movie Cyberbully starring Emily Osment, this movie is very loosely based off of this story. And at the end, they say that because of Megan and her mom, cyberbullying laws have been enacted in almost all of the states. So, I mean, change has come from this, but it also did a lot of damage. Not only did it cause her death, but her parents also divorced because of the emotional stress it caused.
That is just so...
I mean, they basically destroyed a family with...
by being stupid and thinking that they're funny when they're not. I mean... it's just really disturbing. I mean, disturbing isn't even the word. Like, it just breaks my heart.
Yeah, I mean, this just shows, like, not only that bullies can be whoever they want to be online, but even adults are capable of this. And I just can't believe that this mother thought this was appropriate.
Mother, mind you. Mother.
Not just adult, a mother.
A mother who knew the girl, who was friends with her before. Yeah. Like, what the heck? Like, how is this real life? And how is it the fact... I still cannot believe she was never charged with anything. That's just disgusting, too.
This is why, parents should never get involved with kids.
Never, because the kids, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna make up in 5 days,
Exactly. Don't get involved. They're kids. Let them deal with it themselves. I mean, unless it's, like, a...
bad.
Then yeah, I mean, this poor girl was getting bullied by essentially her friend and her friend's mother. And some stranger who didn't even know her from a hole in the wall, who was just friends with her friend with the mother. Right?
Well, when I was looking up statistics about, like signs of bullying or like, trying to like predict when something is going on or whatever, I found interesting statistics that linked kids or adults, mostly males, because in a lot of studies, females are less likely to be involved in animal abuse, although it happens. But if they are involved in multiple cases of animal abuse, they are a lot more likely to be a bully to some human as well, which I thought was really interesting because a lot of times it starts out younger, to where a younger child is abusive to an animal, and then it evolves into being abusive either mentally or, physically to another adult or a human, or being involved in kind of like even mass shootings and stuff. That's also a really, tightly based statistic. So we're going to link the two studies that I was reading down below because I found it really interesting, and they're good, just good warning signs. If someone is abusive to animals, then obviously there's something going on, and you need to be looking into it before something like this happens. Obviously both people in the story, which I feel like the first girl is obviously a little more, mentally unsound, because I feel like that was a whole plotted thing. Where in the second story, I feel like they didn't, I don't think they wanted her to kill herself, but, that's the result, and it's just really sad. But don't bully. Treat people like you want to be treated. I mean, it just all goes back to like these like basic golden rules that we all had when we were younger, and it's like everyone has just forgotten them.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to understand why they do the things they do, but we always have to remember that they do these kinds of things because there's something going on in their lives.
Exactly.
There's problems in their lives. They may feel inferior or feel jealous of somebody, and we may never understand it, but bullying, especially behind a computer screen, is the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, because you can, first of all, you can be who or whatever you want to be. I mean, I can go and make an account and say I'm Joe Blow. I mean, and I'm not, but I can pretend like I am and find a picture of some dude, and, it's just too easy nowadays. And I just think the moral of the story is be kind, and when you're online, don't let things get to you, because you don't even know who it is. Even if they say they are, someone, and they have pictures and blah, 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 but it doesn't mean that's who they are.
Right. I mean, we're a different case because, we developed a friendship online, but from the beginning, we basically knew who everyone was for sure. But and also on the other side of it, if you're the one being bullied, it's obviously not as easy as this, but, just try to ignore the things that they say because they don't know you. Just know that you are worth something, and they do it for whatever reason. It's their own thing, and I am a huge believer in karma. The people that act this way are never going to get anywhere in life. They're never going to go far if they act like this to people that they don't even know. So, just try not to let what people say get to you.
And talk about it. Talk about it with someone you trust. Talk about it with your mom. Talk about it with your friends. Because talking about it helps it. It helps you, first of all, get it out of your system so you're not dwelling on it in your head and, just thinking it to yourself, and get some, real positive feedback other than, these negative things that are going into you, because it's, they're making stuff up. They want you to feel bad about yourself so they feel better about themselves, and it's just a twisted world. And I would hate for someone to, get caught up in that when it's just totally just bull crap, period.
It's mind-numbing too, because it can literally make you lose your mind.
Yeah.
They can make you think that you aren't yourself, like you aren't worthy of you aren't worthy of your life. And it's just not true, especially considering when you think like they both, like Brittany and Emily just pointed out, this person could be anybody. You know what I mean? They could be some little 12-year-old kid who thinks it's a joke and doesn't realize what he's doing, or it could be, an 80-year-old man who's just miserable and has been that way his whole entire life, and this is his way of, making other people miserable so that he feels redemption. It's just as easy and as simple as that. You just can't believe everything that somebody says to you. You have to believe in yourself.
You have to be your own biggest advocate. You cannot depend on someone else for your happiness, because you're always going to be let down by people. People aren't perfect, and you have to just be with yourself. And below, we're going to link suicide hotline things, or I think there's even one that you can text instead of call, because obviously, just like we said with the bullying, it's easier to do it behind a screen. Sometimes it's easier to ask for help behind a screen. So make sure that you check those out and share them with your friends just in case, because you never know who is going through a rough time, because a lot of people don't talk about it.
Yeah, we wanted to do the story because of this, the first story that you heard, because the trial is happening today, but also because last month, September, was National Suicide Prevention Month. So, like Brittany said, we're going to link the Suicide Prevention Hotline, and just always believe in yourself, and don't let other people get you down. It's just the moral of the story.
So this week in Taiji, we are blessed with all Blue Cove days, and we just wanted to remind you that the Cove Guardians and the Dolphin Project both live stream from Taiji. So if you want to check those out, we will have links for them down below.
So this week's heartwarming story is about an emaciated puppy that led a pet store to change its ways. And we chose this because, since we're discussing bullying, we thought it would be nice to show a story of bullying with a happy ending. So Mary Beth Johnston was at a pet store in Kansas, and she saw an emaciated boxer puppy waiting to be adopted. And she, of course, felt sorry for the little guy named Rally and adopted him. Johnston works for a foster and adoption organization called Positive Tales, and felt that she needed to help Rally. And after adopting him, she discovered that he was completely deaf, and as a result of bad breeding. And because of Rally's story, the pet store, Pet Paradise, must now ensure that all of its animals in their care receive proper medical attention before being adopted, which I think should already have been a given. But unfortunately, many pet stores receive their dogs from puppy mills, which are excessive breeding facilities. And it's because of this that we want to also remind you guys to always adopt from shelters or rescues rather than buying from a breeder or a pet store. However, Rally's story of abuse before he arrived at the pet store led to the pet store changing its ways to care for other abused animals, and also a happy home for Rally.
This week for our product of the week, we chose a simple nail stain remover that will help brighten your nails after you take off nail polish. It's real simple to make, combining baking soda and water in a bowl and applying it to the nail. So what did we think?
I really liked it. I wasn't really expecting it to work because it's just baking soda and water, but it's funny because when you mix the two together, it actually looks really watery, but when you dip the Q-tip or whatever you use into it, it comes out like covering the Q-tip, kind of like when you do acrylic nails, how they have that stuff on there.
Yeah.
That's what Brittany and I thought of when we did it. But I don't know, I liked it. I think it actually did make a difference, that my nails seemed brighter, and after I did it and I rinsed my hands, my nails actually also felt softer, so.
Yeah, I did my left hand and not my right hand, just so I could see if I could see a difference, and I think there's like a really distinct difference. Like, my left hand looks so much better. I don't know, it just takes I don't know how to explain it, but they look a lot better and a lot healthier. I'm gonna go do my other hand, but it's seriously like, and I was thinking, for like when you're going to the beach and stuff, it'd be a really cool thing to do on your feet, because you're gonna be walking around without shoes on, so your toenails will look really nice unless you have paint on them. But if they're just plain, I think it makes them look really good. I love it it was no effort at all.
I actually did it on the feet because I have I get my nails done, so I did it on my feet, and I really liked it. Yeah, I mean, I would totally do it again. And again, I agree with Brittany. If you're like at a beach, or you have like open toe shoes on for like an event, like a wedding or something like that, and you want you don't want to put nail polish on your toes, but you want them to look good, this is a simple, easy way to do it.
Yeah, I think it looks so great. I mean, my nail, I could just walk around like this and I would be totally cool with it, because they look super healthy and super, I don't know, like just clean. I don't know. They just look awesome. You guys have to try it.
Right. And I mean, it makes sense because We use baking soda in, like we did in a previous episode. You use it for your teeth to make your teeth brighter. And something that's common in nails, hair, and teeth is keratin. So it would make sense that, if we have keratin in both our teeth and our nails, that something that works for our teeth would also work for our nails. So it's something interesting for you guys to try. Even guys could do it too.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe even guys even more, because a lot of guys don't paint their nails. So, I mean, it's just going to make your nails look awesome. And no one's going to know why or anything, but it just makes them look really nice. So.
No, I didn't realize, but keratin's used a lot for your hair, too. So that's another interesting thing, that, like, maybe something for your hair could also work for your nails as well. I mean, I don't think you would want to put, excuse me, I don't think you would want to put something from your hair, like, in your mouth for teeth, but,
Well, maybe. So let us know what you guys think, and like always, if you have anything that you want us to try or veganize for you, send us an email or leave it in the comments below. This week for Dancing with the Stars was probably one of my favorite weeks so far, because it was TV theme song week. And I love TV and I love songs, so it was a good mix for me and it made it more entertaining. My favorite dance, which maybe not everyone will agree with me, but my favorite one was Nick again. But I just loved the song that they picked. I loved the style that they picked. I felt like it was different than what most of the other ones went with. And I don't know, it was just my favorite. What do you guys think?
Well, they don't pick them, they're given them. So they didn't pick the vaults, they were given the vaults.
Oh, I loved it regardless.
But yeah, no, I agree. That was one of my favorites as well. I felt like it was you felt the story behind it. Like their theme was Downtown Abbey, and it was supposed to be like the lovers, like almost like a Romeo and Juliet type of thing, where like they could never make it work. And I always you could tell through the whole dance that was the theme of it, and you felt their emotion, and I really enjoyed that. Another one I really liked was Alexa and Mark.
Me too.
That was so inventive.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite move was actually the very last step in the whole dance, when she when they step away from each other, and like that street type of step. I really enjoyed that. It fit well with the jazz theme, which I was a jazz dancer, so I always love jazz dances. I gravitate towards them. But this week, I felt like it was all about the tango more or less. Tamar and Val and Alec and Lindsay both did tangos, and I enjoyed both of them. Alec and Lindsay's was to the theme from True Blood, and it's kind of a little inventive too, where they kind of embodied vampires and did that. And Tamar and Val's was to the theme from Mad Men, and it was just like a cat and mouse type of dance through the whole thing, and I really enjoyed that. I always enjoy their bickering too in their videos, where she's like, "Why couldn't it be a woman who's the top boss?" And
they always do that.
And you come in and you want to be with me, why can't it be like that?
Like, yes.
Yeah, those were my favorites.
I think my favorites were Tamar and also Alec. I think he's doing really well, especially considering he hasn't danced before. I was watching, I was like, oh my gosh, he's doing so well. I was really proud of him for that. I liked Alexa's dance. I like Breaking Bad, so I was excited about that. But yeah, I liked those. Nick did well also. Bindi also did well. It's usually always the same people that tend to do really well.
See, I didn't really like Bindi's this week, and I think part of that was because they had 2 days to come up with that dance, because they were supposed to have the Jetsons, which that made no sense to me, because why would you give them that theme and not clear it first?
Right.
That really it just didn't make any sense to me why they did that. So
they were given the TV shows too?
Yeah, they get given those themes too. They have to be clear. Yeah, naturally they have to be clear.
Right. That's crazy.
Interesting.
But that's why, if you notice, most of them were AMC shows. Breaking Bad, Mad Men, like, you know.
Right. Yeah. Yep. And so what did we think of the surprise no elimination at the end?
Yeah, that kind of makes me mad. I feel bad that they did that to her because, I mean, you worked so hard, and I mean, the poor woman had a stroke. It wasn't like, no, she had some dumb excuse not to be there. She had a stroke. I really think they could have given her a little leeway. I mean, I understand rules are rules. They could have gotten sued by somebody else who may have gotten eliminated for a similar reason, you know, something like that. But,
right.
Yeah, because it makes the whole episode kind of pointless. So it's like they kind of like show you all the dances. They're like, here's all the dances, but there's no elimination at the end. Surprise.
Like, I think that, well, because she was, like, eliminated, right? Like, she is done.
Yeah, she can't, yeah, she was eliminated.
See, I think that if they were gonna, like, play, like, no elimination thing, you know, like, I think that they should let her come back, you know, instead of just saying she's eliminated, like, being like, okay, well, this week everyone's safe, you know? Because they do that on, like, the singing competition shows. They've done that in the past. So I just felt like, especially in a situation where she had a stroke, like, come on. Like, she's already in enough, like, physical pain, you know? Like, she doesn't know what's happening. And I don't know. I just thought that was kind of crappy. But, like you said, rules are rules. So, whatever.
And I mean, I feel like it is a very demanding and physical
yeah, so maybe she shouldn't do it anyways.
Atmosphere, and maybe that's why they did it. They also have to take that into consideration. Like, if she has a stroke and this is what, week 3?
Yeah.
How is she going to continue on through the next 7 weeks? And
True.
And when it gets down to it, you know, they got to learn like 4 dances for one episode. So that's a lot of work.
Yeah, you're right. I bet you that's another reason.
I just feel like I feel like they already knew that they were gonna do that and not eliminate people. So it's like, why would you put the like the stress and the pressure on the dancers, making them think that someone's gonna go home if you're not gonna send anyone home, and the audience as well. You just wait till like the last 2 minutes to say, oh no, we're not sending anyone home. I just think I mean, we did want to know the water got shoe, but I think it just wasn't fair to them that, you know, they went through all that stress for nothing.
And the bottom 2 were Andy and Paula, so, I mean, that's who we found out were the bottom. I mean, I wasn't surprised that Paula was in the bottom 2. I was kind of shocked that Andy was, though.
Yeah. Me too. I don't think he should go home.
Yeah, and just because, I mean, he's been consistent the past 2 weeks, it was just this week that he kind of flubbed off. And again, like, some of them just got teams that didn't work. Like, the kid, Hayes, I think. Hayes is his name. The one from Bonnie.
Yeah.
His dance would have been good, but he had like a turtle shell on his back, and I felt like that hindered his movement so much in the dance.
Yes, I agree.
I mean,
it was like, I was kind of like, what? I don't know.
Yeah, like he like didn't move. He was like struggling to move in the costume. Like.
Yeah. Well, we will keep you guys updated and let us know your thoughts and what you thought of the dances and what you thought of this show. And we want to hear from you. So just comment down below.
So for this week's Song of the Week, we decided to go with our theme of bullying and find a song that's all about empowerment and self-worth. So we chose Haley Steinfeld's Love Myself. Haley Steinfeld, if you guys didn't know, has been in a few movies such as Begin Again and True Grit, and she's even appeared in Taylor Swift's Bad Blood music video. But she's most recently known as the new Barden Bella in Pitch Perfect 2. She's only 18 years old, but her voice is amazing. And Love Myself is the perfect song if you're ever doubting yourself and your abilities. It's super upbeat and fun to sing along with, and it just talks about not relying on other people for your happiness. And the video is also really great. It takes place in Los Angeles, and basically they put up this giant mirror cube thing that says Love Myself, and it's kind of like a social experiment that they did. So they put it in the middle of a busy street, and people would come and dance in front of it and take selfies, and it was just a really cool video, especially for this week. So we will link that down below. But what did you guys think of the song?
I love it. I think that it's the perfect song and lyrics for, I mean, especially for like teenage girls, you know, like I don't know, like I feel like I kind of would have loved it back then even more than now. So I think it's perfect for this week and perfect for everyone to listen to kind of, you know, be more sure of yourself.
Honestly, like right now, I just feel like it's my theme. Like right after I listened to it, it was like stuck in my head the whole day. I just kept singing it in my head. So it's probably right now the song that I'm like keeping on replay that like keeps me motivated and like pumped up about myself and makes me feel good about myself. So I really like it.
Yeah, so it's a really good song. You guys should listen to it. Check out the link in the description if you want to watch the video, and let us know what you think of this week's pick.
Okay, guys, that's our show. We hope you've enjoyed this installment of Through the Screen. If you did, be sure to like down below and also subscribe to the channel. We also appreciate any feedback you may have. We post new videos every week, and we'd love for you all to join us and tell your friends. Next week, we will be discussing animal testing as well as some test-free products you can try. So don't miss it. Thanks for watching, stay informed, and we'll see you next time.